most trustless name in news.
Well, it has happened, folks. The Bitcoin ETF approval is officially here. The markets are finally realizing this fact and actually already moving on to the next things. It's crazy how fast crypto works compared to the traditional markets, but we try to stay ahead of it no matter how hard it gets. So what's coming after Bitcoin? What are the next big hype things? Well, you know the drill. Find out in about 10 minutes because it's time for Chico Crypto. Yes, indeed, the Bitcoin approval has happened, and Bitcoin is on the move, or not really. So since Bitcoin isn't doing much, we have to talk about what is next. What's going to be the next big hype for the markets? Well, of course, it's going to be an Ethereum ETF. And guess who called this way before any other crypto YouTuber? We did. Over 2 months ago, November 1st, we put out this video calling for an Ethereum ETF even before it was announced by any of the ETF applicants like BlackRock or others. Although this bull run won't just have Bitcoin seeing its first spot ETF, the second largest cryptocurrency could also see one too, and that is Ethereum. If you didn't know, in early October, Ethereum saw its first ETFs hit the market, futures ETFs from VanEck, ProShares, and Bitwise. Getting futures contracts out in the wild is the first step in getting a spot ETH ETF launched. And let me tell you, a spot ETF for Ethereum isn't even close to priced in. A couple of weeks after our video, BlackRock announced their Ethereum ETF. Do we have inside information? No, we don't. We just guess. But since then, I've been screaming about buying up Ethereum and front-running the front-runners. Well, here in December, I'm going to be making a certain move very soon. I'm going to be buying up a bunch of Ethereum. But come a week before January 10th, BTC dominance just might start to fall because the front runners who are currently going after Bitcoin are going to front run other things, like the Ethereum spot ETF. Now, I was pretty spot on about the front runners starting to come into Ethereum right before the Bitcoin announcement January 10th yesterday. As we can see from the Ethereum price, it has gone from under 2,200 a week ago all the way up to 2,450 as of yesterday. But let me tell you, there is still time to front run. Get into Ethereum before it really pops. So how do you front run? Well, if you didn't know, those in Congress get inside information before any of us. Like an example, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi has accrued millions upon millions front-running information she gets before anyone else. But she does this in the traditional world of stonks. And she isn't the only one, my friends. Nearly all of Congress does it. They have been caught insider trading and violating laws over and over again. But of course, nothing is done. But guess who is now front-running crypto with the likes of Ethereum? People from Congress. Representative Mike Collins from the 10th District of Georgia. Guess what he has been doing? Buying up Ethereum. From CongressTrading.com, we can see old Mikey Boy started buying up ETH beginning January 3rd, a week before the ETF, with a buy under 15K. But then on January 8th, he stepped up his buy with a buy of over 15K but under 50K. Now, usually they are at the higher end of these numbers, so it's likely Mikey bought about $65,000 worth of ETH. Could this representative have some inside information from the SEC? Of course, many of them knew the Bitcoin approval was coming. But what about the Ethereum approval? Could Mikey Boy have got information that this approval would come shortly after Bitcoin's? Now, friends, you have to remember the true insiders, those that get the information, they get it way before anyone else. Looking at Bitcoin, way back in October of last year, the asset got a random pump, going from 30K all the way up to 35K in a single candle with no news, an over 16% increase. That is not normal. That is obviously a major buy because someone or some people got information that ETF approval would come in January. I could see this same thing happening to Ethereum very soon. We see Congress starting to buy Ethereum. I'm guessing Mike got that inside information and soon will leak this to those with the big money, pumping ETH to the moon. But how far? Well, Bitcoin increased 16.7% with its first big pump in October. Applying that to Ethereum, ETH would jump from its current price of around 2,466 all the way up to 2,875. If we see price movements like this soon, we know the Ethereum ETF approval is coming, likely in the next few months. Of course, like I've mentioned in the past, Ethereum Layer 2s and infrastructure coins are going to moon as well. Coins like Optimism, Gnosis, and Arbitrum. Here's me mentioning these three coins back in mid-December before anyone else. When Ethereum gets its ETF greenlighted, in my opinion, these three coins will moon and moon hard, as they are technical pieces of Ethereum's future development. But we have already talked about that. Most of the Chico army is already positioned correctly. So now it's time to talk about the coin who could be getting the ETF after Ethereum. This is the big news we need to take into account. We gotta be the first into these coins. This coin, not last, but luckily if you watch my content, we are already in this coin. Have been for a long time. So the number one coin I believe getting an ETF approval after Ethereum is, drum roll please, keep it going, yeah, keep it going. It's that stinky linky link. Whoop, whoop. And I'm going to lay down the reasons right now on why. Number one, the founder of Chainlink just talked about the Bitcoin ETF approval. And then he goes right into discussing what his product does. Revolutionizing TradeFi and capital markets, connecting DeFi and TradeFi markets. Let's listen in now.
I think it could be quite significant for our industry as a whole. I think it'll show very clearly that TradFi is a very big player in the blockchain space and in the DeFi space. My view has always been that TradFi and the traditional capital markets are actually the biggest net buyer, the biggest net customer of things like Bitcoin. That will begin to take shape more and more through things like the Bitcoin ETF. I think, though, it'll go very far beyond that because fundamentally, this technology is about creating better transactions, more transparent transactions, less risky transactions, more high-quality relationships between counterparties, which is fundamentally what the entire banking, capital markets, and asset management sectors are really about. And so I think the Bitcoin ETF is an efficient initial step where the bigger players in the capital markets allow folks to access cryptocurrencies. But I think they will then go on to make more and more advanced financial products of their own, and eventually even define their own decentralized finance protocols that interact with the decentralized finance protocols on public chains. And yes, this is where our infrastructure comes in to create that connectivity and interaction, both among Web3 protocols, among capital markets protocols, and very importantly, between Web3 and capital markets.
It's like Sergey, who has lost the flan, knows the Link ETF approval is imminent.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But one of the biggest telling signs is the premium traditional investors are paying for Chainlink over at Grayscale. This Chainlink God tweet explains it very well. They say, Grayscale Chainlink Trust GLNK trading at 500% premium over NAV. Wild. Worth noting, GLNK is a one-way door, nearly $400,000 in past 24-hour volume. My guess is volume is coming from individual investment IRA accounts. It's the only way that capital can gain exposure to Link. Not sure why else one would buy GLNK over Link itself. Grayscale's GBTC conversion to Spot BTC ETF has shown a path to enabling redeemability. ETH likely next. When Spot Link ETF? We'll have to see. Why would someone be buying Chainlink that much over premium unless they knew something was coming? From Chainlink God's tweet, we can see they were buying Chainlink at over $80 per coin with Grayscale. Then we can see over at CoinGecko, Chainlink is just over $14 per coin. Chainlink is the only Grayscale product that is trading like that. All other products are pretty dang normal. When you see anomalies, you better act on them, especially major anomalies like this. Buy Chainlink at 14 bucks right now, and then later down in the year, when it gets its ETF after Ethereum, Chainlink to 100 bucks or more. Sounds good to Chico. And people have known we have been a stacking and stacking for some time. I hope you have been too. Nazarov is bullish. Let us go to moon. Well, viewers, what are your thoughts? What altcoins will be the next to get ETFs? Will it be Ethereum and Chainlink? Or could it be others? Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments and why. And I just might talk about your ideas in a video soon, and of course give you that credit. And if you haven't, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that bell for notifications, because the Chico Army is the best in crypto. And you don't ever want to miss one of our videos, because alpha comes out of nowhere with us. Cheers. I'll see you next time.
The most trustless name